Hey everyone, and welcome to Talking from the Cheap Seats. And I believe we're calling this episode 7.
We're calling this episode Phil Esposito, Trot Nixon. Give me a famous Celtics player that wore 7.
The only one that I can think of now, he's famous for right now for shit in the bed, and that would be Jaylen Brown. And number 7, D Brown, the no look Reebok Duncan champion. Those are the only two sevens I can say. So I am Rumble.
I am the Gazoo.
And we talk sports better than you.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready, brother. Let's just kick it off.
All right, here we are. Well, my prediction may come true, but with the wrong team. Your prediction still can't come true, hopefully with the right team, that being the Boston Celtics. I think when we last spoke, Celtics look good. And the last 2 games, they look slow. They look awestruck. Their defense is there, but their top 2 players aren't producing.
Jason Tatum is not showing up, even with the really good game. Well, what would people say game 1 was his best game, where he's let's just say it, he scored 12 points, 17 assists. And if that's counted as his best game, I'd hate to say what his worst game was.
I agree.
He's already set a playoff record for turnovers that was set by one LeBron James.
Yep.
And we should honestly, I thought we'd be sitting here and the Celtics would be up 3-2, and I would be telling you that I don't know, man. We better watch out because.
We need more out of Horford and Williams. No, I disagree, Facebook user. I think we need more out of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum because they're your 2 stars of the team. They need to step up.
I believe that.
Brown and Tatum are not fine.
Who is saying? I got to get on right now because I disagree with the Brown and Tatum are fine right now.
No, they are not
fine. Brown dribbles, and so does Tatum dribble right into a pack. They're not protecting the ball well. No, we don't, dude. They are only what? You're out of your mind. You are out of your mind.
He must be watching a different game than we are. Because
myself, along with every news let out there, will tell you that Brown and Tatum are not playing up to expectation. That they're not. That everybody knows right now that it's. Well, Rochi, I hate to tell you, you're wrong. Brown and Tatum are playing like shit.
They're playing like shit.
Playing like crap, dribbling into the paint where there's 6 guys, there's 5 guys just waiting to jump on the ball. They're noticeably a bigger team than Golden State. They're not using their size. The other night, for instance, Poole gets 4 fouls on him. He's their only big man. You would think the Celtics would start to work a down low game, and Robert Williams and Al Horford have been ghosts. And Jason Tatum has not been good. I believe that going back to the series with the Heat, they're young. Let's not use that excuse, man.
Yeah, you're making excuses now.
Even Scal and Kendricks Perkins are saying, "Don't use that excuse." Come on, Rochi.
It's a goddamn excuse.
Come on, Rochi.
I don't want to hear.
Don't do that.
I agree.
Don't do that.
It doesn't matter if it's their first finals. What did Steph Curry do in his first finals?
What did Michael Jordan do in his first finals?
Exactly. I don't want to hear that.
Listen,
you're making excuses.
I love you and I respect you, but this is one of them things where don't tell me that they're gonna get the consolation prize. It's just as good. No, I'm not buying it.
You were the best team in the NBA,
brother. I hate to. I'll put this up for everybody. You are making excuses, saying they're young, saying the other team's been there. That's right. They're younger. They should be running this team off the court. They're bigger.
Exactly.
They're bigger and more physical
Yeah.
than this team. They should be playing. They should be playing down low, where Golden State is shy on the bigs. Come on, man.
Exactly, because they brought that up, and I've been listening to sports talk radio and how the Celtics have consistently all they want to do is shoot threes, and they miss, they hit, they miss, hit, miss, hit,
Rochi.
hit, miss. Hold on, let me finish this. They pointed out that the Golden State Warriors have zero defense in the paint. They have nobody to stop the Celtics from driving to the hole and putting up 2-pointers, little jumpers, 17-footers, driving to the hole. What do the Celtics continue to do? Let's just shoot from the outside. I don't want it has not it's Jaylen Brown, it's Tatum. They can drive to the hole too. Grant Williams should not be driving to the hole. He should not be driving to the hole. It should be Brown and Tatum. Grant Williams should be staying on the perimeter, shooting. That's what he should be doing, setting up play.
Yeah, but also I believe Williams is a power forward. He needs. I won't argue that fact. I think both Williams need to play down low. Rochi, I put you over the other day. I showed your comment that you had made on your Facebook where you had broken down the last 5 minutes of the game, and I commended you for that. I thought that was incredible. And you know what? Next week, when we talk Celtics basketball right here, Gazoo and I, we will invite you on for a 15-minute segment because I like you that much and I believe in you, and that we'll discuss Celtics basketball with you as an exclusive guest for our first 15 minutes of next week's show.
Here's the problem of what Rochi says is there are going to be already a lot of people saying, well, and I heard it today. Mike Gorman was saying it on 98.5. Oh, they're a young team, and that's what people are going to say. This is a young team, and they got he's only 24 and 25. I don't want to hear that, though. I don't want to hear they're a young team. They were the best team in the NBA. The best team in the second half of this year. They were the best team in the playoffs overall. They're there. They're younger. They're faster. They should be a hungrier team than Golden State. And Golden State looks like they're the ones who are young and fresh, and our guys look like they're old, scared, and complacent and don't know what they're doing. And it's a fact. And it's been in the last 2 games. It's terrible.
There's a stat out there, and I wish I had written it down. But in the last 5 minutes of the game, Jason Tatum,
he didn't take a shot.
Yes.
Him and Jaylen Brown didn't. Neither one of them took a shot. I saw the stat. It was they shot a 3. It was somebody shot a 3. I think it was Marcus Smart hit a 3, missed a 3.
No, I'm talking all series long. There's a stat where Jason Tatum in the last 5 minutes is like 5 for 23 in shots made.
Yeah, he's not the player that
he's not producing with the 5 minutes left.
Yeah. But he's a superstar,
and I'll tell you this, I'll never wear a Jason Tatum shirt only for the simple fact of any guy who wears purple and yellow while wearing Celtics green, I love him because he's a good player. But the Lakers thing, I don't take well with.
Does Jason Tatum have the Duke Blue Devil curse? Only one Duke. Sorry, two Duke Blue Devils have ever won a championship. Every other one of them have failed. The only 2, and I forget the first guy's name. He was a bench player. The other player, can you name the one?
Yeah, Kyrie Irving.
Every other Duke Blue Devil to ever played an NBA championship has lost.
Christian Laettner never won an NBA championship?
Nope. Christian Laettner barely made it in the league. Never mind won a championship. None of them. It's a weird stat, but I saw that stat. And the other guy, the only other one that did it was a bench player.
Richard Jefferson's from Duke, isn't he?
I'm aware of. I remember seeing it. And it said only two blue Duke. Yeah. whatever, Duke Blue Devils have won. And then one of them was Kyrie Irving, and the other one, I forget who they said the guy's name was. It was not as big as a superstar.
All right. I could have. Richard Jefferson might have went to Villanova.
Who's he play for?
When he won the world championship was with Cleveland.
What's Jefferson?
Yep.
Played for Arizona Wildcats.
Oh, wow.
Richard Allen Jefferson Jr.
Yep.
Former professional basketball player. Yep. Yeah. He played for Golden State. No, he played for Golden State is who he played for.
Yep.
Small forward. Yeah. So,
Richard Jefferson also played with LeBron James and and won a championship with Cleveland Cavaliers. Richard Jefferson was also played for the New Jersey Nets. That's the Richard Jefferson I'm talking about.
Drafted 2001, first round, right? 13th overall pick.
Richard Jefferson.
Hold on. Yeah, it was just showing. He played for the he played for the Golden State, the Mavericks, the Spurs, and the Cavaliers.
Okay.
Yeah. It just wasn't showing everything up. But anyway, so back to the Celtics. So here's what I think is going to happen. I think the Celtics are going to win Game 6. I think they're going to win Game 6. I think there'll be enough energy that this team can muster. The question is, can they win back-to-back games against this team? Everybody's saying no. Everything I've heard, everything I've read, Mike Gorman, all the beat writers, all the sports radio guys have all said this team does not have what it takes to beat.
All right. So when I just asked Google how many former Duke players have won an NBA championship, it says here 2 NBA championships. Despite one, Danny Ferry in 2003.
That was the bench player, and then
okay, and Jeff Mullins in 1975 before Coach K.
Jeff Mullins. Okay. So then there's 3. Okay.
Former Duke stars like Kyrie Irving and DeJounte Jones became NBA champions in 2016. So there's another thing. So it looks like 4. DeJounte Jones and Kyrie Irving.
Jeff Mullins, born March 18th, 1942. Okay, so, well, there you go. He played for the St. Louis Hawks, mind you. All right, but so question is, can
Rochi puts this: if Scott Foster refs tomorrow, they'll be in Game 7. Yeah.
Yeah, they were talking about the referees weren't happy with Ime Udoka and all the yapping that he was doing at him. So we'll see. I don't know. I strongly feel like we're going 7 games. I think the Celtics have what it takes to go 7 games. Question is, can they pull it off? And I'm going to be honest with you. From what I've seen, they don't have what it takes to close out the biggest game of their career. I think that they're going to lose in 7.
I'm sticking by it. I believe the Celtics pull their balls out of their mama's purses and go on to win an NBA championship.
I hope so. I'm with you. I'm kind of thinking more of the, I don't want to be the gung-ho homer type of fan. I just look at it. From what I've seen the last 2 games, they ain't got it.
Yeah.
So
I think they'll pull it on, buddy. I really do.
All right. Well, let's transition to the NHL.
Let's do.
I predicted it, and it came true.
Can I just say this before you predict?
Yeah, go ahead.
Bruce Cassidy lands before the Bruins even think of doing anything except for having 10 potential candidates.
I predicted it.
That's ridiculous.
I said last week he will be hired by the next time you and I talk. He was hired. He's going to the Golden Knights.
Yep.
Vegas Golden Knights, a team that is a former Stanley Cup finalist, made the playoffs last year. Didn't make them this year. I'm going to tell you right now. that team will be in the Stanley Cup playoffs this coming year. Maybe not the finals, but I bet you they're humming around that. They're humming
Can I
around.
tell you something? After watching a little bit of NHL hockey this year, I've been watching a little bit of playoffs. That Edmonton Oilers team and that Colorado team, very talented.
Well, speaking of the Edmonton Oilers, since all we can really talk about the Bruins, how badly they're destroying their offseason and still don't have a head coach. Connor McDavid busted, caught cheating on his either wife or girlfriend. Was videotaped and all over the television. Him in a bar with all over a woman who did not happen to be wife/girlfriend.
Just like any other athlete.
I agree, but still, just pointing it out. All right, so Boston Bruins. For all week, I've gotten to hear, read, and listen to radio, had conversations with people. Consensus is, and I read this article today, 91, they polled 2,500 people on a sporting news page or something like that. 91% of the people on the page said Cam Neely and Don Sweeney should have been relieved of their duties. They said only 8.5% of the people that did this said they should have fired Bruce Cassidy. Of that, they all said that it was like, I think it was a high number. I don't remember the exact number. It was in the high 80s. It was 87 to 88% of the people felt that the Bruins are going to go into arguably one of their worst seasons since prior to the Stanley Cup.
I see it right now because I said to you, I see nobody. I don't see anybody coming back. And if you're telling me the season relies on David Pastrnak and Taylor Hall, you got to give me something else because I just don't see it.
Speaking of David Pastrnak, conflicting reports. People have denied. People have said no, that's not true. David never said that about not re-signing with Don if Don Sweeney is a person. I've heard reports that he is on the trade block and may be traded before the season starts. And then I've also heard that they are in the talks to try to sign him to an 8-year contract extension. I've heard Brad Marchand might be on the trade block. So who knows?
This could be it. Like, I'll be honest. Yeah. See, I do watch and I put my time in to a certain extent. But dude, you spend your legit hard-earned money to purchase a partial season ticket package.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to invest money into this team next year?
Not till about December. But here's the thing. They have arguably one of the top 5 best defensemen in the league when he comes back. They have probably one of the best young upcoming goalies, potentially, if they bring him along right, in Jeremy Swayman. You still have top 5 goal scorer in David Pastrnak if they don't trade him. You still have chemistry with a guy like Taylor Hall, who did give you 60 points in his first year with the Bruins. Marchand, if he's healthy when he comes back, and hockey players do bounce back a little differently than some other teams do, and I'm not concerned about a double hip surgery. I think that when he comes back, they're going to have to find the right center for him. The question is I want to see the moves that they'll make with their roster before I can kind of give an ultimate true prediction. I think when you and I come to September, around mid-September, and we start talking about the season, I'll give you a better kind of feel of what I think with that team.
I compare.
I think the coach is going to be. I got to tell you this before you go.
Yeah.
There's an article that was sent to me, and I read it, and I I did research on the person who did it. Person's kind of credible in the hockey world. A name that was not on that list that we talked about last week, that is on the Bruins list from what I hear. Number 4, Bobby Orr. I shit you not.
Bobby Orr.
He coached, but he has coached in the past. He has coached my juniors. He hasn't been assistant coach, but supposedly, he's on a list.
Oh, he got to be like 80.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't see Bobby Orr knowing today's hockey.
No.
That's just me.
I'm with you. I'm just pointing it out there. The article that I can even, I'll even send it to you so you can see it after.
I got a good laugh out of it. I believe you, brother. But I'm just saying, like, imagine that, Bobby Orr. He was done in the 80s. He's been gone for 40 years.
I know.
He's in his 70s.
I know.
Does he even watch hockey?
He does. He's avid in hockey. He was at one time Taylor Hall's agent.
Oh, all right. So the Sox right now, they go 8-2. I won't talk about the Sox after. We'll continue talking.
That's really all I have for our hockey minute. I mean, ultimately, Bruce Cassidy is hired. Bruins still have no coach. I'm not a big fan of Jay Leach if they do sign him. I think, again, personally, I would rather see them go after Chris Kelly or, that's what I would think, Chris Kelly. But
I'd like to see Joe Sacco.
I don't know. Again, Sacco could be a good coach. I mean, yeah, JoJo, grew up down the street from me.
Former Medford kid, grew up loving hockey. He's the head man of the team he grew up watching.
The problem is with all that, Jay, is he's still part of that Sweeney regime. And I don't know. I do feel that they need to make a change if they want to adapt. I don't know. But that's it for my I have nothing really more to say about the Bruins, man. They need to, all I can say is this. They need a goddamn head coach.
What's your prediction for the Stanley Cup?
Avalanche. I think the Avalanche are going to get it. Yeah. I do think they're going to get it. I think it'll be the Avalanche, probably a 6 or I'm not going to narrow it down, but I'm going to say a 6 or a 7 game series for sure.
I'm going out on a limb, and as much as I hate Tampa, I'm going to say Tampa is going to three-peat, and it's going to take 7 games.
All right. Well,
Tampa's come alive. Nobody thought Tampa was going to do it. Tampa came alive the second round. Everybody thought the Rangers were going to go over. Tampa came, and Tampa, all their right guys came back. I'll be honest. I hate to say this and curse the Celtics. The Tampa Bay Lightning remind me of what the resurgence of the Golden State Warriors are doing right now, where all of these guys who are just so used to winning, it gets them there, and then all of a sudden it's like a fountain of youth. It's like a battery rejuvenation. And that's one of the main reasons why I picked, not to jump back on the Celtics, but it's one of the main reasons why I picked 7 games, Gazoo, is because I felt that you were going to have to fight these demons in that series. And if you look at that, the teams that have faced Tampa Bay right now have had to fight those demons in those series. They're used to being down and being out, and other teams. So, in a way, Roach, I can agree to disagree about the Warriors and about these teams that got that je ne sais quoi, so to speak, when entering these playoff series, because they've been there and done that.
All right.
So
before we jump to the Red Sox, we'll do a quick 2-minute blast on the Patriots. I just figured we can say that, hey, we got our off-season mandatory training camp. Looks like everybody's there. Somebody got suspended for 2 games for some type of violation. Other than that, nothing really to report on the Patriot front. The only thing I'm looking forward to see is honestly, in the NFL is where is Baker Mayfield going? He's still a member of the Browns. I've read a lot of chatter that there are teams interested, but nobody's biting the bullet yet. But I do know that the Browns are on the hook for a lot of money with him. I also did hear Jimmy Garoppolo may get signed by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Saw that today. Jimmy Garoppolo may get signed to take over for Tom Brady next year when Tom Brady retires. Imagine that. Imagine that shit.
Well, Jimmy G's still with Tampa Bay. I mean, still with San Fran right now.
He is, but they're shopping him.
Very
on the market. But anyways, that's it. That's really nothing. We really got no pay. I think our Patriots talk will really pick up in another month or so once training camp starts.
Training camp starts. Yep.
But let's go to your team, our team. But let's go to them. Team that I've been upset with. That is, like you said, 8 of the last 10. What are they? 16.
11 of the last 13 right now.
No, I think the number I saw was they're 19 of their last 26 or something like that.
Yep.
So
I'm just saying with the 10 games that they had on the West Coast swing, they went 8-2, and now they're about to go 3-0 in their last homestand against Oakland. 2-0 in this homestand against Oakland. So that would be they'd be 10-2 in the last 12, which is a very good number. And like I said, there's a lot of teams right now. Take a team like Philadelphia, who fired their coach last week, and yesterday has reached a 500 ball club at 31-31.
I think
I told you a lot of teams started off slow, man.
Well, let's see. I mean, there's still 12 games behind the Yankees.
Yeah.
And I don't think, unless the Yankees fall on their face, the Red Sox are going to have to contend for that wild card.
But can I tell you, though, it's not the wild card that me and you are used to having. When there's 5 spots now that have basically been created, I think either 4 or 5 spots now that with the new playoff system.
See, I don't like the MLB playoff system. I always wished it was, I would like to see the top 8 teams make it, and do it the way, 1 plays 8, 2 plays 7, 3 plays, 5, and or whatever, and 3 play 6, 4 play 5. Make it a 2 out of 3 game series. That's fine until you get to the last 2 rounds. But I'd rather just see the top 2 teams from the American League East, or the top 3 teams from the East. We have 3 divisions, right?
Yeah.
So the top 2 teams from each division should make it with the top 2 wild card team.
Essentially, that's what you got right now. Essentially, that's what you have. You have 8 teams from each league.
Is it 8 teams?
The new. That's why. Okay. That's why. To be honest with you, it really doesn't matter if you're in first place, because if you look at the Red Sox, are a great road team right now.
It does, though, if you're not having to do the play-in game.
Yep.
Because aren't those
I agree. Wild card games? I think the play-in game is over and done with. I believe that they're all the best team in the league, the best team in each conference has a bye because they're 3-game series.
I mean, the Red Sox, I still think if they stay hot, they still got what, 3 series left, 3-game series left with the Yankees, right?
Yeah.
So they still got 9 games with the Yankees, and I mean, you're right. I wonder, are they blowing their load now and falter later in the season? We always know the Toronto Maple Leafs. Toronto Blue Jays always start hot and falter in the end. They'll finish in 3rd place like they always do. Baltimore sucks. Tampa not looking. I don't know. Again, right now, the Red Sox pitching's amazing. I mean, I know I've shit on the Red Sox, but their pitching's amazing. I can't deny it. I cannot deny the pitching of this team. It is amazing. I heard Chris Sale was throwing 96 and has officially joined the team today.
Yeah.
So.
And then they just got a great pitcher performance out of the kid, out of this rookie.
Called up, right?
Yep. His first start wasn't so good. Second start, he shut them out and pitched 5 innings.
And Devers now has 14 home runs, I saw.
Yeah, and
What's
it's
the
been
score right now?
and there is more. 6-0, and there is more.
6-0
Yes,
Sox or
6-0 Sox, and there's a huge buzz around MLB right now that Rafael Devers is becoming the best all-around hitter in all of pro baseball.
Best overall hitter? Are we saying, so we're not talking batting average. We're talking overall because he's not a great bat. He's not he's a decent batting average type of hitter, but he's not a top end batting average type of hitter. He's definitely a extra base hitter between the doubles and homers and a few triples. And
Rafi Devers right now is second in the league in batting average, hitting like
American League all around.
Yep, up to like 240. Devers is like
340.
Yeah, like 340. Devers right now over the past 2 years has hit well into the 300s. Well into the 300s.
Speaking of batting average, let me ask you a question. There's two records right now in baseball that I feel are next to untouchable. There's a couple of records in baseball. When it comes to the offensive side of the game, I'm going to ask you this question. Do you ever envision another batter hitting over 400 and potentially breaking Ted Williams' record of 403?
No.
And the other one is, do you think there will ever come a hitter that can come close or tie or beat Joe D's record of 56-game hitting streak?
Okay, I think that you have a better chance of seeing someone break a consecutive hitting game streak than you do with the 400 average. And the reason why in this day and age of baseball, they're producing guys that hit 40 home runs and hit 240. Okay. And it's just a different from the minor leagues up. It's a whole different makeup on how they groom the hitters. Like, okay, so Devers right now, 335 and OBPS of 998, 16 home runs, 40 RBIs. He just happened to be up
40 RBIs.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think 40 RBIs is on his way to well over 100.
It is the middle of June.
Yep. Well on his way to 100.
I don't know. I'm still not sold on the Red Sox, but I will say that they're trending in the right direction. The question is we got the trade deadline in about a month, right?
No, you don't. It's late this year.
It is
now August 3rd.
Okay, so the question is do the Red Sox, if the Red Sox obviously stay hot, they become buyers. If they don't stay hot, they become sellers.
Yes.
Yeah.
But right now, the only thing the Red Sox, in my estimation, the only thing the Red Sox really need right now is a closer. They need a dependable 8th and 9th inning guy that you can depend on.
Who would you want? If you can get somebody right now from a team that's available, you think?
I forget the guy's name that they were showing last night who pitched for the Oakland A's, but Eckersley and Millar loved him. And they said with the guy's high ERA this year, and he's one of the older people on the Athletics, that they would not be surprised if he's one of the bargaining, if he's one of the chips that Oakland tries to get rid of, because the guy's been like an all-star setup man, aka closer for Oakland for the past 3 years. He had 22 saves on 23 appearances last year.
Let me ask you a question. You mentioned Oakland. Hypothetical, but I want to know, had Billy Beane signed with the Red Sox back before the OFC, when they made him the offer and he turned it down, do you think the Red Sox would have won what is it? 1, 2, 3, the 4 World Series they did in the last 20 years. Red Sox won 4 World Series in 20 years, right? 04, 07, 2000, what was it? 2013, and then 2018, right? Do you think?
Yes,
You think
because Billy Beane had said all along that if he had the only reason why he has the structure he has is because of who he was a GM for. That if he had pockets to play with, that he would be a totally different type of guy. So I believe the brains that he had, yes. I believe we would have had a couple, maybe not 4, but I believe a guy like Billy Beane would have gone us on our way.
Okay, fair enough.
Because if you look at it, a guy like him, he started this with the Paul DePodestas and the guys like that went out to the LA Dodgers and went Tampa, and so all these guys that are from that Billy Beane tree have all won in ways, shapes, and forms. And DePodesta, he showed what it was like to have those brains and have pockets at the same time by landing with the LA Dodgers.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, I really do.
Okay. So listen, so I know we talked about this earlier, but I want to take a few extra minutes to talk about the professional wrestling because there's 3 stories right now. Obviously, the one you want to talk to me about, but there's 2 other major stories. One of which I know it's going to be addressed, but I kind of want to talk about it because it's related to sports and substance abuse. But I don't know if you saw the article that just came out about Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis are under investigation for potential sexual harassment and $3 million in hush money paid to a paralegal back in 2019 who is now, I think, from what I'm here, blowing a whistle. And my question is to you, and I don't know if you've seen the article, and if so, you should read it.
I read before I came on. I also saw that within 3 months she got a raise to $200,000 a year.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Kind of coincidental that his daughter quit the company. Don't you think? A little coincidental that maybe she knew her father was guilty and said, I'm getting the fuck away from this before my name gets dragged through the mud. Just think about, you have to think because this is the McMahon family. This is their heritage. This is their thing. And Stephanie, of all people, who's won tons of awards for women empowerment and women this and just the awards, and she walked away and said, I'm done. And it just makes me wonder if she knew something was up with her father. And it's funny that I find that both him and Laurinaitis are named in this suit.
Well, I feel bad because Nikki Bella's mom and Brie Bella's mom are going to divorce him now.
I know, right? I know. Tell me about it. All right. So let's talk about the big case everyone knows about real quick. Jeff Hardy, professional wrestler, once again arrested for substance abuse. He was pulled over, blew a 2.2 on his
I watched the video.
Watch the video. He was a stumbling, bumbling, mumbling mess. It's people have been talking about him for the last 2 weeks, about him showing up in the ring, not looking good. His big brother, Matt, rightfully so, you can't fault Matt for trying to defend him in the past. You can't. It's his brother. But he's trying to protect his baby brother. But the problem is, I think now, and it ties into sports, because here's a guy who's utterly talented, right? Has a massive following of professional wrestling fans and even people who aren't wrestling fans but are into his art and his music. And he just can't stay clean. And you got to think, look at some of the other athletes that we've seen. Lamar Odom can't stay fucking clean. You hear these stories about some of these athletes who are all banged up after their career or during their career.
Lawrence Taylor.
Don't know how the motherfucker's still alive.
Doc Gooden.
Oh my God, Darryl Strawberry.
Darryl Strawberry.
Kevin Stevens, former Boston Bruin.
Yeah.
Had a big cocaine issue.
Rick Tocchet, big cocaine issue.
All these players, but you have some of them who
Adam Gase, the potential offensive coordinator for the New England Patriots.
I find it's almost disturbing in a sense. I mean, look, you and I understand the professional wrestling business better than most. We know the type of drugs, we know the type of atmosphere that they're in and around. It's been like that. It's the carny way of life. Steroids, alcohol, cocaine. I mean, look at Ric Flair, the story of Ric Flair and all the drugs. I mean,
look at Ric Flair now. Did you see that there was a TikTok video of
him working out? Yeah.
Not in him working out, but he's in a bar and he's around all like these 20-something-year-old girls.
That was the wedding he was at. Yeah, that was that shot when he was all dressed up.
No, he just did a pair of jeans. He was out on the town. It was on Facebook today, but these little TikTok things that go by. It's him. And he's at a bar, and there's a bunch of 20-year-olds around, and he's got like a suit jacket on, and he's trying to dance, and these girls are just laughing at him, going, "Look at this old guy!" Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's pathetic what he is trying to just keep up with doing, man. I'm sorry.
But I think that's part of it. Like Jeff Hardy, like I don't know what it is with this guy, because like I do like the fact that Matt finally kind of acknowledged it and said, listen. He's disappointed in that aspect, but he was right. He just wants the best for his brother. And you know what? People shit on Vince McMahon, and we all said, maybe it was a work. You know what? It wasn't a work now. Vince knew something. And Vince said,
I was never a one that said it was a work. I
remember you said it wasn't.
I was the guy from the get-go that said this dude has some major serious issues. I told people that, like, I told people they should be ashamed of themselves for even trying to think of him being put in a frickin' wrestling ring.
You're right.
That this guy needed to be better for his family, and there were so many people that were like, but in 4 weeks he'll be better. It's like a common cold. No, it isn't.
And then somebody else was, it's a work. It's a work. I think that. What happened to Crush? Crush is dead.
So
Crush is another one. Yeah, but I think
Jeff Hardy, I got to watch the match that he did at the pay-per-view. And do you know he left that match the same way he left the match in the WWE?
Yes, I know. Yes.
Through the crowd.
Yes, I know.
That was a telltale sign that he was up to something.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad to see it. It's sad to see it for any professional athlete, and he is an athlete. I mean, he's a professional sports entertainer. It is a sport. Professional wrestling is a sport. It's just a form of entertainment. But still, it's sad to see it, man, because I watched that, and we talked about it on the gorilla position. He had such a good interview with Stone Cold Steve Austin, but now that I go back and watch it, it was a complete work. He was lying through his teeth. He was being Jeff Hardy, the character, not Jeff Hardy, the real person.
Yes.
And it's sad. And it's really sad,
Rochi Apocalypse is not part of talking from the cheap seats with Rumble and the Gazoo. This is a sports talk show that this week we just happened to be talking a little bit of professional wrestling at the end because there was a couple things that I wanted to talk about.
But
with my buddy the Gazoo that's been absent over the past couple of weeks.
Well, the problem is you do the show when I'm spending time with the old lady, man. It's kind of
I know. Well, it's Saturday night. I'm sorry.
But, that's what I want to say. Like, and it just goes back to showing that. Look, people can say what they want about Vince McMahon, the character, the promoter. But the guy does give a shit about the people. I mean, he pays. How many professional wrestlers that have worked for him that don't work for him, and he's paid for their rehab? You know what I mean? He puts them in rehab. I got to give him credit where credit's due. I really hope the best for Jeff Hardy. But I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to be shocked when I hear in a couple of years that he dies from an overdose. Not going to be shocked. Just like look at what's his face there, Josh Hamilton. The talent of that baseball player, and it was ruined for drugs and alcohol.
Yep.
It's a sad thing. It's a sad thing.
That it is.
So, all right. So you wanted to talk to me about something professional wrestling wise. I'm going to let you introduce it.
All right. So, as you know, I make it a fact that I do listen to Busted Open's podcast once to twice a week. And everybody makes the big deal out of, I feel, and I think that people took what I said out of context, where, don't get me wrong, it's horrible to write something and then all of a sudden squash it 2 months later and it's a head scratcher. But at the same point in time, I think what everybody was arguing about, 3 out of every 10 people felt the way that you and Forbes felt.
I think it was more than 3 out of 10, but I will say this. So let me get into it. So obviously I disagree. You know, I know. So if people don't know who we're watching, by the way, the taping of this episode is June the 15th, 2022. We didn't tell you that. When the article was posted on the Gorilla Position, and you made a comment of, you know, Bubba Ray, and I said, oh, Bubba Ray says it must be good. Seriously? The point is I looked at it from 2 perspectives, okay? I looked at it from the wrestling writer perspective, someone, you know, the business side of it, the person who would sit there and actually take the time to write this angle and build the angle and see the potential in the angle. And then I saw it from the fan side of it. And the problem is, for me, is both sides of that agreed with the same coin, because there have been many times where I'd say the fan would be like, nah, that sucks, but it makes sense. You know, it's not like this Friday, Roman Reigns is not going to lose the title to Riddle. It sucks.
We won't talk about that yet, but I'm just saying.
But it's an example of, if it doesn't happen, I can understand it makes sense.
What's so wrong about them kicking Edge out of Judgment Day?
Because first off, the gimmick was built completely around Edge.
Yep.
Let me get into it. If they turned on him in 7, 8, 9 a year from now, that's fine. But the gimmick just started. It did not make sense. First off, the way they did it was completely dumb. You should have turned Finn Balor heel at the pay-per-view.
That's what that's one of the things that I'll be honest with you. If you listen to the specific 1 hour podcast that Bully Ray talked about it, he does say that it would have been a lot better, but at the same point in time, it really didn't bother. And I look at it, and this is the only thing I look at it from. I look at it from a guy who's been there and done that in the business, has worked backstage with the WWE, understands the legit thinking of what goes through their minds, not through your mind, not through my mind, not through Stiff's mind, not through Chris Charisma's mind.
I get it.
But what goes through a WWE writer's mind.
Have you not said to me numerous times, I should be working there, I should apply, because
you should. You have great ideas, but at the same point in time, this is my whole thing. I
heard your thing.
I don't believe, like, Edge. If Edge really did feel that he didn't like the fact that they were going supernatural with the gimmick and said, I'm done with this, I don't want to be part of it because of the supernatural part, this is where I wish ESPN was around for backstage, so somebody could go, Edge, Why did that happen? Why would that happen tonight? And
Well,
would say, you know what I
let me get
mean?
into that because because you wanted to hear what I had to say, so I'm going to give it to you. See, because the fact is, number one, it was a waste of television to do that. You had just turned Edge. Now I get it. I'll get into it in a minute. You had just turned Edge heel not more than 3 months prior.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And it was he was building to be arguably one of the top 3 heels in the WWE. Because I'm sorry, you got Roman Reigns, but you had Edge really becoming this. I mean, because he had such a pop and he had such the flow in the wave of emotion from the comeback that him going back to being the heel was great. The gimmick was, I didn't want to see the quote unquote. I wanted to see the belief, like the idea was supposed to be, and you can see it was, he was supposed to be kind of like the fallen star, like I said, the Lucifer character. And then he would have had his acolytes around him to do the dirty work. These people that would have seen him fall and they believed in his word, just like the angels that fell from heaven believed in the Lucifer and what he was promoting. The gimmick was great, and you did that, and then you would have brought in one or two more wrestlers, and he would have had this stable. He could have completely lightened his wrestling load while being on TV.
I'm not arguing with any of them points.
Promoting that gimmick. Then what you do is you fuck it all up on that. Again, it should have been the heel turn at the pay-per-view, caused the win, and then, oh my God, you have to tune in tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw when Edge introduces Finn Balor to the Judgment Day. And then you do that, and then why? Why Finn? Why do it? And again, it was another fuck up because
I think if anything, if Finn Balor was going to be part of that night at Judgment Day, they should have turned on Edge that night.
Should have never turned on Edge. Edge should have remained. You don't need Edge as the face. Don't turn Edge.
Why does Monday Night Raw feel that they do, and you feel that they don't need that face?
Because they don't know what they're doing. They don't write properly. They're because they lost Cody Rhodes. They're fucking running through the fucking mill. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? You got Edge who cut his hair, is gonna look stupid as the R-rated superstar with that stupid fucking hairdo that he has, and then you have. And you just, the whole thing, you wasted 3 minutes. Because if you really wanted to.
What if they said to themselves, who's easier to turn babyface?
No. You stop right there. You should have left Finn Balor as the babyface.
What if Vince just isn't confident in
that's Finn? The problem. That's what I'm trying to get across to you. There's no potential good writing. All
right. Whatever you want to deem good writing, to me it's they're going with who's a proven commodity. Edge is a proven commodity wouldn't be in the top babyface.
Edge because you can still have Cody. You don't need Cody to wrestle to put him on TV. He can do the CM Punk behind the fucking mic gimmick for a couple of months, and you have him on TV. And you can keep Cody Rhodes on TV. Sell the gimmick. He's doing his comeback. Right, hold on. That's number one. Number two, you had Finn Balor, you had AJ Styles. You wanted to get a heel. You wanted something to compete with. You had the Bullet fucking Club, the original members of the Bullet Club there, right? Now what you have is Bullet Club 7.0 with pretty much calling it Judgment Day with Finn Balor, Damian Priest, and Rhea Ripley.
I'm going to tell you this. How many people have probably already said what you've said a million times over?
Everybody knows.
And Vince has said, I don't see Finn Balor as my draw.
But he wouldn't be the top draw. But you don't need to turn Edge.
Who's the 2 top guys on Raw right now? One person, Riddle. Matt Riddle. That's it.
Right.
You got Bobby Lashley.
I won't even say Bobby Lashley. You have AJ Styles sitting right there.
I understand that, but
you have Cody Rhodes.
I'm telling you, I'm giving you what the WWE thinks right now. I'm not telling you. I'm giving you what an article that I read, and these are the guys they fed, and it wasn't. And they even said, What about AJ Styles? And they said that's the way Vince is thinking right now.
That's the problem, Jay.
Yeah.
That's why I have the opinion the way I do, because the thinking is wrong.
Yeah.
Because
Listen,
it's not right.
I will not disagree with you that they do waste things, but to the same retrospect, I'm going to disagree to a certain extent that I see why they went with Edge, because he was a proven face commodity, and if those younger guys jumped on him, it makes it easy for people to forget Edge is with AJ. But on the other hand, what if
AJ?
what I know
And
it's
you have
wrestling.
John Cena coming back for the entire summer.
Well,
why turn Edge?
Yeah,
you just changed his whole
whole
new gimmick, and it worked.
Yep. Listen.
And it worked.
It didn't bother me to a certain extent, because I honestly, other than them not having a talking piece now, I would have rather them keep it the way they had it, but asking if it bothers me that Edge isn't there now, because I believe the writers and the fans, I believe the writers will come up with something that's decent enough. I think lately they've done a good job doing
With
right.
what?
This is probably the biggest fuck up they've had.
Done a good job with what? You got Bobby Lashley, who just 3 months ago was a world champ fighting Brock Lesnar, fucking doing fucking stupid gimmick with Omos, and you're gonna do a 1 month gimmick with fucking Austin Theory.
I find nothing wrong. I don't think anything's been wrong with Raw since 2 weeks going into WrestleMania.
What?
And I think every Raw episode has been watchable, and then some since Cody Rhodes' debut.
You can fast forward through it, maybe.
Nah.
Yeah, that's about the only way it's watchable. It's not. You know what? I'll agree to disagree with you. There have been sections of Raw that have been good, but many sections.
There's been a couple of head scratches, I won't get you wrong, but the overall product in the past 3 months has picked up well on where it was for the past 2 years.
You want to, something? If Vince needs a fucking draw for the WWE where Cody's out, go spend the money and bring back Bray Wyatt. Simple as that. Bring back Bray Wyatt. You could do that. It'd be a huge pop. It'd be a big time summer thing. People would love it. Turn Seth Rollins face. Instead of him attacking Cody, turn him face. Am I wrong? No.
No,
I like Seth as the heel. I like Seth as the heel, but you could have turned Seth face too. You don't need Edge as the face. Edge could have been the main heel on Raw, just as a fucking mouthpiece.
I'm not gonna not disagree with you, but I believe what the WWE was thinking is that they were going with the proven commodity. And maybe it just was what?
You just said it. He fell back on the proven commodity rather than creating a new one. And we've said this, and we've all agreed. The problem with Vince is he's not creating new superstars.
Yeah, and I think
the face.
And then this is my James Forbes side of me coming out right now. I think it's an easy way for him to get rid of Finn Balor, Rhea Ripley, and Damian Priest when this all flops on his face and they become September cuts.
We'll see. We'll see, brother.
Damian Priest got a great look, but the one thing that sucks about him? Horrible.
Besides horrible. Teeth and he can't talk?
Horrible on the mic.
Oh, it's terrible on the mic.
And Rhea
Ripley's okay.
Yeah.
But, her new look, But Finn Balor is...
I think Vince hates accents. That's one thing. I honestly believe that.
You know what? He probably thinks accents don't sell unless it's like the British accent. Like, I bet, but he has Gunther, and Gunther, he loves Gunther.
Yeah, but Gunther's a different breed, brother.
Yeah.
Gunna is that. That's what he grew up promoting.
I know. So, hey, listen, that's my take on it, man. That's my 15 minutes of fame. We talked about it. We'll agree to disagree.
Oh, buddy, I'm not saying that I don't disagree, but I'm
What we
just
do
saying
disagree on is what I'm saying.
I know. I agree with some, and you make valid points, but at the same point in time, I think sometimes the WWE front office and the people backstage, they make
the easy decision.
they hear the song
decision.
Under Pressure, and that's what makes them make the easy decision rather than going out on the limb. And I honestly,
not the right one.
Yeah, well, it's because I think a lot of them already know what Vince is going to say.
So,
but I listen. I hope you can come on. I'm thinking we're gonna go Friday night.
Okay.
All right. 8 o'clock.
All right. Friday night might be easy. I'll try to make it.
Friday at 8. That way, I'd love to discuss.
The MJF,
the Vince McMahon and what the MJF.
It's proven work.
Yeah. And other things.
What do you got in the docket? We got what? You got
Vince. You got Jeff Hardy. You got a bunch of good stuff up there.
Jeff Hardy. You got what's his face? Juice Robinson getting stripped of the belt from New Japan.
Then you got the CMLL and AAA can't participate in the hidden door thing.
The Lucha Brothers, they can't participate because of their because of AAA.
Yep. In CMLL, not allowed to do anything with New Japan.
Yeah.
But ought to be interested. So this was a great show. We talked from the cheap seats. Sometimes we're going to talk a little bit of our expertise also, pro wrestling.
Let's hope next week we're talking about a parade here in Boston.
That's right, brother.
Let's hope.
That's right.
Maybe next week the Bruins will have a fucking head coach too.
Yep. Maybe next week the Patriots will have signed a top flight free agent wide receiver.
Who?
Rumor has it that OBJ is on his way to New England.
I'll take it all day. I'll take him. Let's do it.
That and much, much more to everybody out there that's listening to the repeat and to the live cast. We thank you to Facebook, to Twitch, to YouTube. And
next week, Rochi, by the way. Sorry.
And we will have Mike Rodriguez, a.k.a. The Rochi, will be on with us to talk sports.
For our basketball take. Yep.
For our basketball take. And who knows, if he's any good, he might stay on a little longer. Every good sports program has a third wheel.
If not, we'll send him over to the fucking piss trough to get us a popcorn.
All right. I am Rumble.
I am the Gazoo.
And us armchair GMs, a.k.a. whatever you want to call us, super fans, we just talk sports better than you. We'll see you all next week. Thank you very much. Have a great one.